Hello, and welcome to this video. Space Hulks. Tactics. The good, the bad, and what it's about. Now, to inform you of what this game is, being that I don't have any game footage here, because I was going to stream it at some point, but I wanted to first get into the game to really understand it myself. But the more I played it, the more I just couldn't put it down, and it has a campaign in it, and I just didn't want to, start shooting mid-campaign and everything, At least of one side. But back to that here in a second. But yeah, I was gonna have some footage at some point, but I just like I said, I just couldn't put it down. Now, to inform you of what it is first, it is a strategy game based in the Warhammer 4K universe. At least from my understanding, from what I've seen, because I am not one who is really into that storyline or just the lore and everything about that area, that subject. I don't know what to really call it, but, the Warhammer 4000 franchise, I guess. I'm not into that franchise. But this game seemed appealing to me because of two things. One, it looked like a really good strategy game that I would get into because, for one, it seemed almost like an aspects of chess, but different. And I've played chess many times. I've had myself in the chess club of my high school during senior year. So it seemed like an interesting concept on chess, but just done differently, of course, like I said, in the Warhammer 40K universe. And I'm not sure if I can categorize it as a real-time strategy, because I don't think it is. Like you would say, like Halo Tactics or whatever that is, Halo Wars, I think is what it's called, yeah, but it's nothing like that, where it seems like, both you and your enemy are doing stuff at the same time. It's nothing like that. It's like it's one your movement, then the enemy movement, and back and forth. And only during certain groups unit can there be stuff done. It's a convoluted thing. It's hard to explain. Like I said, I'm going to try to do my best to inform you. But the way it works is you have the two sides. You have the basically the Warhammer Marines, basically. I don't know what else to call them. And you have the alien Xenos on the other side. And you're on this big, huge ship that is on a crash course with the planet. And this ship is huge. It's like bigger than the planet itself. And you, as the Space Marines, are on there to kill all the Xenos and prevent it from hitting the planet. Whereas you are playing as the Xenos, you are there to defend the ship and prevent the Marines from preventing your attack, basically. And the way the core game itself works is there is, like I said, different movements. The Space Marines will always move first. And the way it works is like it's the first move, or phase 0 is what it's called, is the spawn phase, in which in some way the way the map works is like there's like certain locations, there's like all these like text squares and stuff. And there are some times where it's like you all spawn together as the Space Marines. This is all Space Marines, what I'm going to talk about for now. You all spawn together, or there's like certain sectors you spawn off of. Like there's 2 here and 3 up here, or there's 2, 2, 1. It's you're never too far from each other, but you're always in a good area to start off with. And there are different ways in which, as a Space Marine, you have objectives. There are times where you are on the defense of protecting certain assets from the Xenos. There are times where you gotta just go from point A to point B and get your ass out of there. There's like a variety of stuff to do, of objectives in these different aspects of at least the campaign. I haven't really touched multiplayer. I'll get into that in a second, but like I said, we're talking campaign right now. As you progress through the campaign, you unlock more and more different types of Marines that have different abilities. And the way also these abilities works is what they know as cards, and each card costs an action point. And well, not really an action point. It's like a side action point. Whereas like your Marines themselves have action points. They each have 4 action points, and everything basically the Space Marine can do is considered an action point. If you move one step, even if you turn, it's considered an action point. If you shoot, that is an action point. And the way your combat works is you're a long distance best use. you get your guns, and there are some though that have melee weapons that are better suited for melee combat. But for the most part, as the Marines, you're better suited to be at a distance from the Xenos to combat them, because they have no weapons outside the claws and everything. They're melee combat based creatures, I guess, in this universe. But yeah, they're all melee. So your best bet is just to stay at a distance and shoot. And there are other stuff you can do aspects wise. Like I said, the whole one team could be going while the other team still has like stuff that could happen, and that is with the Marines. You can put them in what is known as Overwatch, and within their line of sight, if they see something move of the Xenos, they will shoot at it. And you can't, as a Xenos, which we'll get more on there, move past some of these Overwatch points. Like I said, we'll move on to that discussion aspects of what that means when we talk about the Xenos. But back to the Marines. Now, like I said, each one's aspects things cost an action point. You can open up a door, and that's an action point. But with the Overwatch itself, it costs 2 action points. And like I said, remember, there are 4 action points per Marine. Now, the way the card system works with the Space Marines is you can, on each turn of your turn, destroy a card, which can give you extra action points. Which is nice in case, you see, like, Xenos down the hallway, you take a couple shots, and unfortunately the shots don't work. Not work, but contact. They don't make contact on the. You miss, it happens, because the way this thing works is a roll of the dice, which is going to put me on to a part I said earlier about the reasons why I found this appealing. And like I said, first it was chess, and there was this, though, I'm not sure if you heard this YouTube group, probably more so than me, because they're, big in the Corridor Digital. And on one of their videos a long time ago, I saw one of their main people, who basically goes by the letter D, cool dude. He was playing with a friend of his on this kind of like pre-made map, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like what is it? I was supposed to say LARPing. It's not LARPing. What is it? It's like D&D. It's kind of like D&D, but in the Warhammer franchise. And they have Friday dice they have to roll for different reasons, and they had like measuring tapes to know the distance where they could travel. It seemed very interesting, and it's something I would like to do, but I knew it's just like, I'd probably just be pissed off about it because nobody else is going to play that I know probably around where I live. So it's like, But then I saw this game, like, that kind of seems like that game they were playing. I want to try it. And you know what? Even the 2 best parts about it. One, it's not $60. It is, I believe, $40. I caught it off of like a sale, maybe still going. I don't know. It was like 20% off or something. Where I got like, I doubt 20%. It was whatever it was percent wise. It was like $5 off. And number 2, from what I can tell, I can't tell it any other way than this, but being a good thing. There is no microtransaction. Now, I know people are going to praise and like, oh my god, something without microtransaction. Now, calm down a little bit. I can get into a huge rant, being that I do, even though I have another video on that, is why, and it's okay that microtransactions exist, as granted, as they are done right, of course, As long as something is done right, it is okay. And granted, a lot of people are hating on stuff, but again, like I said in the video, this is the entertainment business, which the video game world is. And people just think too much of the entertainment part and not much about the business part. And being that this is an ever-evolving world in many aspects, including video games, we need to understand that there needs to be an evolution of the way in which they earn money. Because for the most part, for it's just understandable. It's like they are not making much back in from just the sales of the games alone. The reasons why DLC exists in the first place is so they can make more money to get back the money that they put into, the cost of everything that they put into making the video game, to the promotion of the video game and everything, the cost alone they're trying to make back, and of course more. They want to, they want to make their buck back plus some, so that they can give understandable reason to, make a sequel or of some, keep things going on with this type of, work that they were doing, the game itself, like if you like this Red Dead Redemption game, well, getting the money back, and more so and stuff, it helps them know that there was going to be a Red Dead Redemption 2, the same with, I guess, especially GTA 5, how much it made. It has microtransactions in it, and I don't hear people much shitting on that game. like I said, as long as it's done right, it's more probably understandable. But people are just hating on it too much because they're seeing like parts here and there, done wrong, which is understandable. But I digress. I ran it on there a bit longer than I meant to. My apologies. Back to the reason why you probably watched this video and this information of this game. Now, as I was saying, with the aspects of the campaign, there are two sides. You can play as, like I said, the Space Marines, or you can play as the Xenos. Now, as it was stated earlier, the Xenos are mostly a melee combat creature, and you're wondering, well, this seems a little unfair, being, these Space Marines and stuff, but there's a balance to it, which I found, which is kind of challenging. Like, if you really want a good challenge of a strategy game, go with the Xenos, because I played the Space Marines campaign, and I was just going through it all over, like, left and right, just bow, beating mission, like, this is fun. Like, you know what, I want to try the Xenos. My god, it is challenging. I'm not trying to say, like, it's challenging, like, it's impossible. It's like, kind of almost like the Dark Souls of strategy games. It's you really gotta think. This is like why I say it's so reminds me of chess. You really gotta be strategic about what you do. Now, the way in which the Xenos work is, like I said, they are melee combat, but the way you spawn in, like I said, you spawn second, you move secondly. For one, your main Xenos, the first group you get of creatures, they have a movement of 6 spaces, where, like I said, they have basically 6 action points, whereas, the Space Marines have 4 action points. Basically, at least the beginning aspects. I've yet to really dive hard into this, because I've found some stuff with the Xenos here and there, but hear that in a second. But yeah, your main Xenos, they get like 6 action points. Now, the way they spawn in is, they don't spawn in as the Xenos in which you see, like you would see with the Space Marines. You see what ones are there, what type they are, which means what type of combat they would be. Like I said, there's, one with guns, there's melee ones, there's a variety of different guns. There's like one who's got like a huge machine gun. What would it be best called? I would say minigun. Like, it's like a minigun, a Gatling gun, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm an idiot. It's whatever. Yeah, he's basically like a minigun stuff. A variety of guns. But with the Xenos, when you spawn in as what is known as a blip. You just see the person you just see that area as a radar, knowing that there is a Xenos there. Possibly. More of that here in a second. Now, the way your actions work, first off, you have what is known as I'm not sure what stage is called, but it's basically like you have the option to spawn your creatures in, because you get more options to spawn more and more creatures in, is you have your cards. Now, with your cards, you have 2 aspects of what you'd spawn in. I'm afraid of what they are. You have, you see the skull, that means you can spawn in 1 Xenos blip-wise. You see 2 skulls, that means you're going to have 2 Xenos blip-wise. There's also what is seen as like basically a big circle, which is 0 Xenos. So you can use it as a strategy to confuse and really just mind fuck your enemy. You think, there's a Xenos coming behind me, but it's a blank blip. So they're just, too much on the defensive there, while you can have another actual Xenos come up from behind. It's all strategy. It's all, you gotta think very strategically on this game. And they're just, like I said, with the Xenos though, when you're in blip mode, if the Space Marines have a person on Overwatch in a certain line of an area, you cannot cross that line as a blip. You would have to, what would be basically expose your Xenos. You'd show your hand. Basically, if it's 1 Xenos, if it's 2 Xenos. There's like variety of different cards. Like I said, where there's other creatures. And if you get these cards, you can put it on, like, say, 2 Xenos split, which would spawn in a bigger, badder creature. There's like the second creature you get. It's basically he can actually take hits from the gun. So if he actually get hits, he doesn't die immediately. He can take an actual hit and still keep going. There's a variety of different types. But like I said, when you're a blip, you can't cross that Overwatch little eye. And the way the whole thing works, the reason why I also brought up the whole, playing with the dice and everything, is that's how the whole system works with, whether you get a hit or not, is like a computer-generated roll of dice. See, what happens, because when you're facing off against somebody, it's a roll of dice. If you hit them, being like, if your dice amount is higher than the other person's dice, or if, like, say you're crossing that Overwatch little line of sight, there's a roll of dice whether or not you get hit, or if you just, agile enough to duck out, There's a variety of things that work well in this game. It's so good of a strategy game. I would highly recommend this game if you're looking for such a mind-challenging game. And like I said also, there's multiplayer in it, so you can actually face against other people. But there's a kicker to a part of the multiplayer that is amazing. They have a map editor in it. Yes, it came out with a map editor, so you can make a challenging maps. And like I said, I haven't touched much of multiplayer, and I haven't touched this, so I don't know what balancing there is, because I'm sure there's a balancing aspects to it where you can't make a map that's basically impossible for one side or the other. It has to be most likely balanced to where it's like both sides have a chance of success. But yeah, there's multiplayer, there's casual, I believe, from the looks of it. Like I said, I haven't really touched the multiplayer. There's ranked, of course. And the way that multiplayer works, first off, you want to do is create your team. Now, there's like 5 legions, I think, or maybe 4, like 5 or 4 legions in each camp of the Xenos and the Marines. Like you got the regular Marines, you got the wolf dogs, I don't remember much of the names. Like I said, I'm not much into the lore or to the aspects of all of it, but this game just seemed like overall a good strategy game, and it is. Even more so, there's like a part of it where it's like the way you can see it, you can like have this overview of the map, like just a small bit of it. You don't see the whole map. You can move around it, of course, but you see a bit of this map. Or you can actually go down into the Marines and see what they're seeing in first person. That make you, there's just so much of this aspect that gives you so much choice and freedom. It's so nice, to see a game that's, I haven't seen anybody really talking about this game of what I've, places I watched, that is, Rooster Teeth, or Achievement Hunter. They have, Achievement Hunter, they have what is known as AHWU, Achievement Hunter Weekly Update, AHWU. And they talk about when they record on Friday, which gets released on their side on Sunday, but on Monday on YouTube. Goes up for everybody. They talk about this week's in games, what's coming out in games. They didn't state that this game was coming out this week. It's like it wasn't in their warehouse of a list of games coming out this week. Of course, they said Call of Duty and they said other games, but this game didn't come up. Like, what? It's really released this week. How is this not in I knew about that, and how did these big gaming channels that talk about what upcoming releases and stuff not have this in their fucking warehouse? It's not only them. Another this British YouTube channel, GameRanks. I think they're British. I could be wrong there. Them and some other places that they just they talk, they state what's coming out, and it just wasn't mentioned. What? It's not that bad of a game. It really isn't, and it's get a fair price for what it is. Granted, there are a little bit of issues. Won't deny it. There are some issues. Like I said, there is the good and there is the bad. The bad is sometimes there are some just little glitches. Sometimes when you're spawning your people, it's it just stops working. It's you can't spawn anybody in, and you'd have to. The way that shit works is you'd have to leave the game then come back in if you want to have a certain specific people spawn certain areas. Because the way the thing works, the way you end your turn is you hit here, turtle right here. You hit this button right here. This what I call the back button, because that's what it was called on the 360. I don't know what the fuck they call it now. I don't care what people say. What it is called, this forever fucking be the fucking back button. I don't know why people just don't understand that anymore. It's where's the double window button? It's well, I don't know why they changed that shit the fuck up, Microsoft. I love you, but what the fuck on that? Seriously, it was called the back button on the 360 with the 360 controller. Why did that ever have to fucking be changed? It was understandable for that. The only thing I can think of is that's when the fucking whole snap shit was happening with the first dashboard and shit, which I don't even think that was connected to it at all. I think that was just the middle jewel button right here, this. But yeah, I'll forever call it the back button. But yeah, when you want to end your turn, you hit that button. And remember this, especially if you're playing on Xbox. Whenever you hit that button, your turn ends. There's no like confirmations like, are you sure you want to end your turn? You know, it's like ending turn here and like cancel. No, okay, you cancel. No. The moment you hit that fucking button, because I've never played much strategy game, so I always thought it was. I hit Y sometimes to think it would be the end turn, and the way you bring your cards up to look at them if you want to use them in any way. If you want to like what is called convert them, which is what you would use to get your action points back on the Marines, or you convert it on the Xenos to get spawns in. And if you don't convert it on that first phase, that means you have the opportunity to use it. So again, be smart. Like I said, if you hit that back button, that phase gone. If you hit the back button while you're in the middle of thinking and stuff, and you're meant to bring up your cards, you're done. Trust me, I've fucking quit out games and started back up because I realized I hit the wrong fucking button. So remember, the double window back button means end turn. Trust me, you're gonna want to remember that, because I'm just trying to nail it into the coffin in my own fucking head of how stupid I am. I have hit that so many times during the campaign that I've got frustrated because, like I said, in the end, it is a strategy game, so it is going to be a bit of a slow pace. It's not too slow pace, I find, but except for when you're mainly playing on the Xenos, I find it's more of a slower pace when you're playing on that side, because, like I said, it's more of a harder strategy of trying to figure out what you want to fucking do there. Yeah. Like I said, if you want to really, like, a mind strengthening, I would say, a mind strengthening, challenging game, I would recommend this. If you want a good strategy game, I would recommend this. If you want a good game in the Warhammer 40K franchise, I would recommend this. And like I said, I don't know shit about that franchise, but I would recommend this game really, really high. Seriously. I'm not saying it's like it's the game to end all games. It's just, it's a good, mind-challenging, mind-strengthening, overall fun game. It's just the sound alone good. Like you hear the footsteps, like boom, boom, boom. Like you can hear the Marines stepping on metal. It's like you're there. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. The music, just the ambiance for what you're in, it sounds good. It's like granted, it could be more. I would say almost like Aliens, if like horrors, like you're in a small contained space ship trying to eliminate these things, but it's like in the end, like I said, it's a strategy game, so they went for more of the strategy and less of a horror, which I think was okay. But yeah, overall, it's a really good game. It's just like I said, I could go on and on explaining more about it, but my advice is if you're looking for a good game right now, granted here in a couple hours, Black Ops 4 is about to be released, and of course in about 3 weeks, maybe less than that, we got Red Dead Redemption 2, and we got the Fallout 76 beta. Can't wait for those. As well as, granted, next month you got the Fallout 76 game itself. I've seen people's gameplay of it with that they had like the Bethesda hangout in Virginia or whatever it was. Got gameplay of it and stuff. It's like I hate that you're playing this and I am not, because I want to. Kind of feeling, like it's like I don't hate them for being able to play, because I want to play it myself. I hate that I am not as big as them, as that I could have gone to that event, But we all can't be rock stars. Some of us just gotta be your average Joes. Otherwise, you couldn't have an average Joe. But yeah, overall, Space Hulk Tactics. It is a good tactic strategy game, Oh, I would recommend this highly. If you want a good game. Like I said, it's not even $60. It's probably $40, but yes, it's a high price. I think it would have probably done better if it was maybe at $30, $35. They had it for the sale, maybe. But overall, a good game for a good price, I think. It's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation 4, it's on PC. Sorry, not on Switch. Maybe if they get enough sales here and there, but I'd recommend this game. I would recommend this. It is a good game. It's fun. And I had fun doing it. And it's not like much of a strategy game. I like I said, the closest strategy game I ever play is chess, and that's about it. Other than that, it probably is I got that Plague Inc. thing, whatever it is, on my phone, where you make a disease and you try to kill everybody in the world with it. That's an interesting game. I don't much play that. I don't much play phone games. I'm mostly a main game gamer, console, that is. I love the PC more, but I don't have the PC for it. But that's a discussion for another day. I thank you for watching. I truly hope you were informed, possibly entertained, and I hope you have a rock'em sock'em day. Peace.